Part 2. Crossout. Refractory Container. Science and Society magazine. SEER will be the most powerful computer in history. The SEER, or in its acronym, Southern European Evolutionary Research Initiative, is a computer complex that has not only become the most powerful device, performing millions of per second, it will also be the base to deploy a global analysis center, which will deal with information processing, forecasting and scientific calculations. Black box documents. Waveform, inner chat. Terrain is changing around the domed object. The impact of an indefinite nature accelerates the decomposition of all matter, metals, minerals, polymers. Personnel near the object experience unexplained anxiety attacks, particularly the most sensitive have panic attacks. It was the NIRI signaling device. It was damaged after the fall. The work of extracting new samples is very difficult. In this sense, I recommend a man known as Riley was born on August 20, 2019. Augustus Downer was born on July 3, 2025. IBXO was born on August 15, 2026. Documents folder. Science Popularization Magazine. Dr. Weckler, representative of the Waveform Corporation, presented to the scientific community the results of a series of practical experiments that question modern physical theories. In particular, this refers to work with force fields and certain types of radiation. What are the consequences for science? Let's try to find out together. A suit and mask is being developed to protect against the effects of the signals if the damaged device is activated. However, the captured NIRI manages to convince the leadership of Waveform that the device may contain necessary technologies to register the consciousness in a bearer, and thus achieve immortality in people, using as an example the technology of the Guardians used for the NIRI. The corporation's scientists are secretly working to restore it. It ends in a disaster. In 2027, the device is activated. While still extremely damaged, its signal flies around the entire planet several times, through any transmission device, such as cell phones, televisions, or radios, causing the activation of the code embedded in people's DNA. For most people, the result is fatal. Billions die, most of the survivors are going mad, chaos is everywhere. Document folder. Brochure, end of 2027. Keep calm. In connection with the increasing incidence of mass psychosis of an unexplained nature in all localities with a population of more than 100,000 people, a curfew is imposed. Recommendations for residents. 1. If possible, stay in house with windows and doors closed. 2. Create an emergency food supply. 3. Keep your radio or television on at all times. Keep calm. The activation of DNA NIRI in human DNA alters its sequence, causing death or mutation in the individual. This process is known as crossout. Refractory container. Homemade brochure, don't believe them. The government lies. Neither gas masks, nor sealed bunkers, nor full bioprotection suits will save you from crossout. Some people go through a partial transformation process. Being part NIRI, they become closer to the Guardians. Because of this, they briefly gain a limited ability to manipulate reality, creating chaos and destruction in the cities. Using these abilities drives them crazy and shortens their lives, but the Earth has time to fill with anomalies and strange energy phenomena, probably products of the use of these abilities. Black box documents. Meetings of the 12th Marine Regiment. Sir, we've got a situation here that isn't accounted for in the military cadets. Give me your report, Corporal. Sir, a group of civilians is advancing to the checkpoint from the city. Explain yourself more clearly, Corporal. The city is under quarantine. There are a lot of them, sir, thousands of them. They? Oh my God. Don't you panic on me, Corporal. What's going on? They? Stop, immediately. Most of the cities have been completely destroyed. Black box documents. Address of the mayor of Kostover. The evacuation of civilians is carried out on a regular basis. We urge you to remain calm and await further orders from the military authorities. Don't panic and stop the spread of false statements. We responsibly declare, not a single citizen will be left without help. Some governments and large corporations were more prepared for the crisis, but they were not overlooked. Refractory container. Visual stir and poster. The air is contaminated. Our country was attacked by an unknown assailant. In some areas, toxic substances are sprayed. The most reliable means of protection is a respirator. However, a prolonged stay in an area contaminated with toxic substances and contact with people exposed to them should be avoided. Nuclear attacks. The governments of major countries do not have time to respond to the threat. In the general confusion, some decide to respond to the attack by launching nuclear warheads at the places where the enemy is supposed to be within their cities. The explosions further exacerbate the situation. Previously, fertile lands are turning into wastelands. Lunatics. The earth descends into anarchy. A decentralized society appears, where the strongest is the one who gets ahead. When human nature itself began to change, for many it was the strongest psychological blow that they could not bear, having thrown off the chains of civilization, finding refuge in the animal part of their old nature, where the strong devour the weak, where the lonely are herded under the leadership of the leaders. They rejected the concept of morality, completely submitting to the instincts of survival and reproduction. Called lunatics, their gangs quickly spread out across wastelands left unprotected. Refrigerated container. Video diary of an unknown blogger. This year, 2027, it's coming to an end. I think it must be the 20th or the 21st of December by now, but I'm not sure. The world has changed, people have changed, climate, geography, it's all gone downhill. I don't know how many people have survived, how many have been saved, how many have turned. The cities are dead. The Waterfront Corporation is divided into branches that had lost contact with each other. Only those Waterfront members with access to the protective suits were able to shield themselves from the device's signal, surviving the Crossout. However, the suits do not provide complete protection. The Crossout severely affects intelligence. Academics and scientists, without protection, experience brief bursts of awesomeness, which progressively ends up driving them crazy in the depths of the wasteland. They began to call those people gadgets, since they often left behind rare artifacts and complex inventions. Later, creatures appeared in the wasteland, who also constantly wore full costume and masks. The drifters, few of them could tell anything about their past. The largest of the remaining Waterfront corporate subsidiaries reorganized into a faction known as the Children of the Dawn. It did not include any of the company's top managers, but they did have the technology for the production of suits, samples of experimental equipment, as well as bits of information about the Oracle project. The scientists, led by Riley, are looking for a way to reverse the changes caused by the Crossout. For this, the search for the core of the AI of the Oracle project and its modules, the only one currently known as Ravager. Black box documents. An excerpt from the travelogues of the first Waterfront expedition. Management gave us the task of getting to the senior terminal. We have a path through the land script by madness, groups fighting for the remaining resources, raiders who just killed everyone they see, and, of course, a new landscape and geography. All this awaits us outside the Waterfront shelter. We knew that sooner or later that they would come. Project SEER isn't called Oracle for nothing. We must understand what is happening to the world and to the people. It loads in all the information that there is at this moment, and get answers at any cost.